Morning, everybody. Thank you all for being here. I know it's been a long week for you as well as for our community. Before I begin, I want to acknowledge the victims' families, the witnesses, and every person in our community that has been affected by this terrible incident. What happened here was violent, frightening, and deeply traumatic. Families in this area, on what should have been a normal Saturday afternoon, dealt with the worst thing imaginable. Employees showing up for work, visitors coming to see our beautiful city, and instead they were confronted with chaos, fear, and now loss. Our hearts are with every victim and family that are now carrying the weight of this tragedy. We know that there are thousands of people in our community that are grieving. We know that there are people recovering from physical injuries. And we know there are many others who may have not been physically hurt, but who have witnessed things that no one should ever have to see. And to them, we are truly sorry, and we stand with you. We want to recognize the courage of citizens, employees of the businesses affected, our first responders, our dispatchers, medical personnel, and law enforcement officers who responded to this scene in extremely dangerous and rapidly changing conditions. Their actions absolutely saved lives. Today, we want to provide an overview of what we currently know. We want to emphasize that this remains an active and ongoing investigation. Some details may change as investigators continue to review evidence, examine video, conduct witness interviews, review dispatch recording, and officer reports. What we are ready to discuss is what is believed to be the most accurate information available at this time. We also want to address how we would be referring to the individual responsible for this attack. Out of respect for our victims, their families, and this community, we have made the intentional decision from this point forward not to repeatedly use the suspect's name. He has been clearly identified in previous press briefings. At this time, there is still no known motive for this attack. After acts of mass violence, the person responsible should not become the lasting identity of this tragedy. This incident should not be remembered by his name, and we will not contribute to any attention, notoriety, or recognition that he may have sought by committing this action. Instead, we will refer to him during this briefing as the gunman or the suspect. Our focus remains where it belongs, on our victims, on the people who were injured, on the families whose lives have forever been changed, and on the courage of those that helped them in their greatest time of need, and the strength that this community needs as we all begin to heal. We want to address why we are not releasing or confirming the names of those injured in this incident without their permission. Our agency is absolutely committed to being victim-centered in our approach to justice. Unless an injured person or their appropriate representative has given us permission to share their name, we will respect their privacy. We understand that names may be circulating online and on social media or in the community, but we will not be confirming the identity of any injured person at this time without their permission. Being a victim of a violent crime is deeply personal, and those individuals and their families deserve the time, space, and dignity to make their own decisions about what information they choose to share with the public. Our focus remains clear on supporting them, protecting their privacy, and allowing them time to heal without the added pressure or unwanted attention. We also want to take this opportunity today to dispel some misinformation that has developed over the last week. I want to reiterate again that the suspect we identified on Sunday, we believe, acted alone. At this time, we have no other reason to believe that any other person was involved. At this time, with the most accurate information available, we believe that 10 people received gunshot wounds in this incident, with 3 of those people losing their lives. 2 of the victims were wounded inside of the restaurant, 1 fatally. 2 of our victims were wounded outside of the restaurant, 1 fatally. 3 people were wounded on Blue Lakes Boulevard with no fatalities. 3 people were also wounded in the Visitor Center parking lot, one fatally. We also want to clarify from our first press briefing about the off-duty Idaho State Trooper who took heroic action during this incident. We understand there may have been some confusion, and we want to be sure that the record is clear. So with his permission, we are sharing the names of one of the Good Samaritans who tried to intervene that day, Austin James, also known as A.J. Scott. Mr. James ran towards the sound of gunfire coming from the in-and-out drive-through area rather than away from danger, and his actions are courageous and commendable. After Mr. James was shot, he drew a pistol from his waistband but did not fire his weapon. Mr. James is a former Twin Falls police officer and a former Idaho State Trooper. He is not currently employed in law enforcement. He is not the off-duty state trooper we were referring to in our last initial briefing. At this time, we will not be releasing of the active duty state trooper who was inside of the restaurant at the time. This off-duty trooper's heroic actions started inside the restaurant with him exchanging gunfire with the suspect through a window. The trooper also later directed employees out of the kitchen and out of the building. Heroically and unbelievably, this trooper also assisted responding officers, leading them towards their last known direction of the shooter, and then took up a position at a key location to provide security until he could be relieved. Some may ask why we are not releasing the name of this off-duty trooper who risked his life in the time of need. This trooper is also a victim of this incident. He is being provided with the same amount of privacy and respect that our agency has worked so hard to provide for all of those this day. I want to be clear about the environment that our officers and first responders were going into last Saturday. They arrived in one of the busiest parts of our city on a hot Saturday afternoon with temperatures pushing 100 degrees near a newly opened restaurant with dozens of employees and a large number of customers. There were a number of cars in the drive-thru and numerous people inside the restaurant. There were hundreds of vehicles moving on Blue Lakes Boulevard. There were hundreds of people at nearby and surrounding businesses. There were over 60 visitors in the visitor center at the time. There were people running, hiding, calling 911, trying to help, and trying to escape. At the same time, responding officers from multiple agencies were hearing reports of gunfire from multiple locations, multiple people injured, and possibly multiple suspects. They did not have the benefit of our hindsight in this moment. They were moving towards danger while trying to determine where the threat was, how many suspects there were, who was injured, and how to protect hundreds of people spread across multiple locations. This is by far the most extreme, complex, and dangerous situation that is completely unprecedented for our community. From the time the first call in, our first officer was on scene within 3 minutes. But it took law enforcement approximately 90 minutes to determine that there was only one active shooter involved. During those 90 minutes, officers received multiple reports of possible active shooters in different locations. There were reports of suspects headed toward the mall, which required officers to divert their attention and resources to respond there and place that location on lockdown. Nearby shopping complexes had to be searched. A hotel under construction nearby also had to be checked and secured. Our 2 dispatchers that were working at the time were overwhelmed with a number of calls. They received 85 calls within the first 10 minutes and a total of 163 calls in the first hour. And they did everything humanly possible to gather information, calm the callers, direct resources, and keep officers updated. Dispatchers with SERCOM also received hundreds of calls and helped direct numerous responding officers and resources into the area. Fire and EMS personnel arrived quickly, and without hesitation or concern for their own personal safety, they began to treat victims under very difficult circumstances. Over 150 first responders from 19 agencies responded and worked together to secure the scene, search buildings, locate victims, protect citizens, and stop the threat on August 1st. I want to thank the numerous employees of the City of Twin Falls that came in that day on their own accord to provide logistical and emotional support for our people. It is vitally important that our community understand how proud they should be of these first responders. By all accounts, their actions that day should be rated at the highest levels of our profession. We are eternally grateful for the assistance of our partner agencies and for the actions of citizens who helped during this incident, and I personally cannot be more proud of them. We want to thank the employees and community members who helped shelter others, guide people to safety, provided information to law enforcement, or assisted victims until help could arrive. In moments like this, courage can take many forms. Sometimes it can be an officer moving towards gunfire. Sometimes it can be a helpful citizen directing people into a safe room. Sometimes it's a citizen distracting a gunman long enough for give time for others to escape. Sometimes it is an employee helping a coworker to hide. Sometimes it is a dispatcher staying calm in an incredibly stressful situation in the worst moment of someone's life to provide them some level of comfort. This incident has shaken our entire community. Twin Falls is a strong community, but strength does not mean that we're not unaffected. Strength means that we come together, we support the victims, their families, the witnesses, and continue the hard work of healing. I want to be sure that our community knows that victim services and support resources are available for them. With the assistance of our partners with the FBI, local victim witness coordinators and the Red Cross have established a virtually family assistance center that can be accessed online. We strongly encourage anybody who's been affected by this incident, victims, family members, witnesses, employees, first responders, or community members who are struggling to visit that site and review the information available. Many of our local service providers have also stepped forward to provide counseling, advocacy, crisis support, and other resources for those impacted. No one should feel that they have to go through this process alone. Help is available, and we encourage you to use these services and to share this information with anybody who may need their support. In the upcoming days, the City of Twin Falls will be announcing a partnership with NOVA, the National Organization for Victim Advocacy, and we will be scheduling events over the next several months to provide local citizens with the resources they need to deal with this tragedy. We also want to thank the team of an organization called Courageous Survival, a local nonprofit that is assisting first responders in providing them and their families with the resources that they need to heal from this event. I'm asking for all of us to avoid public speculation. We understand the desire for answers. We share that desire with you. But investigations of this size are complex and they take time. Our goal is to provide accurate information, not simply fast information. Before we continue, we want to advise the public that we will now be showing a video presentation that includes audio, video, still images, and a timeline of this incident. Although the video and images have been censored, the content still may be disturbing, emotional, or traumatic for some viewers directly impacted by this tragedy. We are sharing this information to provide transparency and a clear understanding of what occurred, but we ask everybody to please use their discretion in viewing it. We believe right now is the right time to fill in more pieces of the puzzle for this incident to allow our community to understand what transpired that day and to aid in the healing process. Images depicted inside the restaurant depict syrup that has been spilled on the floor, not blood. The faces of those people in the videos have been blurred to try to protect their privacy. If you feel that this material may be harmful for you or someone watching with you, we encourage you not to watch it. Viewer discretion is advised.